Hello everyone, it's Jill and welcome to my craft. Today I'm going to be making a 8x8 card using this lovely little set of Lavinia stamps. These particular ones came free, I think, with Papercraft Essentials magazine. Beautiful little set of stamps. So let's have a go. Right, so to start with, as I said, I'm using an 8x8 card, and I'm going to be using glitter card as well, which is something that I have lots of and barely use. So I thought it'd be rather nice, and I've just chosen a piece of background paper from my storage stash. Like we've all got loads of paper, and I thought this one was particularly nice with the little stars on it. And I'm going to be mounting my main image onto a die cut. This die is from Sue Wilson and it's the cathedral background. So I'm going to do a little image to go in there and then fill up this side with various bits and pieces. So let's make a start on that then. Just move that out of the way for a moment. Now to start with, I've got my little piece of card here, and as you can see, I've drawn the oval shape just to make sure that I can centralise my image as it goes on, because obviously we're going to die cut that in a moment so that it fits out onto the main die cut there. So I'm going to be using VersaFine Deep Lagoon and VersaFine Olympia Green inks. So if you don't have many inks, this is a lovely card to try. You can do this with limited supplies. So let's start with our fairy. Let's ink her up. It's a very, very pretty fairy. Very pretty image. Lots of gentle taps. And I rather liked this blue on the I suppose it's like an aqua colour card. Let's find a nice place for her. Just about there, I think. Like so. Just hold her down for a few minutes to transfer all that ink across. Well, seconds. We don't need minutes. Just to make sure that moves across. Gentle pressure all over. Oh, and she's not come out particularly well. So what I'm going to do is I've got another piece here. We'll try again. If you've got a stamping tool, you'll probably find that would help better. Let's try again. And I've just got a bit of ink on the sides here. Let's just lose that. Again. This one doesn't work. We'll go to plan B. Transfer all that lovely ink. That's better. It's giving a lot crisper image. Right, next will be my mushrooms. Start with this little one. I think I put that one just there. Lovely. And the bigger one just next to it. Use that ink again. Lovely. And then I'm just going to put another little mushroom down in this corner just to fill a bit of space. This one will probably come off the edge, but that doesn't matter because it's quite nice to have some that do that. Makes it look a bit more natural. Might just about squeeze in, you never know. And then let's go pop those to one side. Let's go with a few fairy sprinkles. Oops. That's all right. Tiny little bit over here, I think. That's pretty good. Right, now I'm going to go on to the Olympia green and the leaves. Let's use that for the moment. It's a lovely little vine stamp, this one. And I'll probably turn her around. Again, stamping off over the edge of the circle. Oval even. So you can get a second impression next to that. Lovely. And cap again. And just by doing the second stamp, it gives just an impression of a little bit more depth. Yeah, I think she looks quite nice like that. Maybe just a tiny bit more of a darker one on the edge here. There we are. That's good. Right, so now I've done that, I'm going to getting some grounding of the fairy. Now I've just ripped a piece of paper so that we can just gently get some ink. I'm going to use a little brush for this one, using the Deep Lagoon again. Let's pick up a little bit of ink. I don't want this too dark. Just, that's it, gently do that. Maybe a little bit more, different direction. We don't want her floating at the moment. She's not flying, she's grounded. Right, there we go. That's better. And then I'm just going to put a little bit more of this into the background, just so that it adds a tiny bit of depth to the card. Very light. That's better. And then perhaps again. Lovely. It's just added like a few hills in the background. Maybe a tiny little bit of one there. Lovely. It's coming out lovely. Okay then. Let's put that over to one side. Time to add some little highlights. So I've got my white, I think that's a Ranger pen. Oh no, it's a Signo, Uniball Signo. Just check this is working. Yep. Add a few little white highlights in. Mushrooms. Come back to this little one here. Just make sure we just pop a bit more. And I'm going to do her hair. So with this one I'm just going to do some little swirls. Nothing fancy, just going with her hair. Okay, it probably goes down that way, so we'll do that. A little bit there. A little bit more there, so it just gives it a tiny bit of highlight. And then the next thing I'm going to do is some glitter. So I've got my Quickie glue pen. I'm going to be using some Glamour Dust, and this is the Deco Arts. You can use any kind of glitter, but this is widely available in lots of different shops. Just going to pop a few like this. A few round here. I'm going to do her wings as well, so let's go around the edge, each wing. And there we go, here. And then just a few dots in the middle, just to make the wings all sparkle. I mean, you can use glitter pens and all sorts for this, but this is what I fancied doing today. There we go. It doesn't matter if it sticks anywhere else, or not these white bits if you've got a bit still wet, because it all adds to the look. There we go, that's really pretty now. Really giving it that fairy sparkle. Right, just use that piece of paper now. So the next thing we need to do is to cut her out. So move our paper away and come in with my cuttle bug, I think. I've got my A plate and my B plate and my C plate. So, right, where's the die? There's the die. And so I'm just going to stand up for this one. Pop that onto there. And I drew round the outside of the die because I don't want the pencil marks showing once she's cut out. Right, pop her onto my plate. With a big straight die like that, you probably only need to go through once. Yeah, lovely. There she is. Beautiful. Let's move that out of the way. And bring my card back in. So she's going to sit in here. Like so. First of all, I need to do a little bit more stamping on this card. Just move that out of the way, put her back up there. I'm actually going to use the words that come with the set, and I'm going to do those in the Olympia green. So with this, I don't want a very dark impression, I just want something very light in the background. So I'm just going to stamp off and then pop it onto my page there. There we go. It's just that very pale background. Obviously this side will be covered with the die. Don't need too much there. Just adds a little bit more interest to your background. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, bit of a tickle. There, so that's the background then. And what I'm going to do now is just out edge this with a bit of the Blue Lagoon. Oh, sorry. Right, just to make that pop a bit. I didn't want to bring this in too far off the edge because I don't really particularly want to grunge this down too much, if you like. I don't want to make it too dark. Yeah, so that's that done, and then I will do the same with the fairy here. Just helps to make it pop a little bit more. Right, pop those over to there. Bring my card back in. So, pop this one down then. Already taped this up. It's not very interesting. Watch people put double-sided tape down. And I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of wet glue on there, just as extra protection, in case I store this card for a while. Any sort of PVA will do, whatever you've got. I'll just line that up. And the same for my die cut here. I'm just going to glue around the edges a bit, just to help it stick a bit more. I've got one of these lovely little bottles with a fine tip applicator. Really good for this kind of thing. All you need to do is when you put it away, make sure you put a pin in the end. And make sure it's a one that doesn't rust. And a little bit more over there. Put my pin in. There we go. You can buy those little bottles off Amazon, eBay, etc. Put that down onto there. Lovely. Very pretty. Right, with the fairy, I think I am going to put her onto some 3D foam. Just to stand her up a bit. Not overly thick, this card, so I'm just going to make sure it doesn't buckle by putting down a lot of foam. Let's bring the card back in. There we are. Might just put a tiny bit of glue on there as well. And the only problem with a tiny little hole like that is it blocks quite quickly, so if you don't put your pin in, it congeals in the nozzle quite quickly. Right, there we go. So she's looking quite nice there. So the next thing I want to do is to finish the card off. I've made a sentiment and stamped again in the deep lagoon, which I'm just going to pop there. And I've found some lovely little flowers in my craft box, which I thought would finish it off nicely. Just going to pop them down there. I've got some leaves here. That. Put some more down there. Sort of like that. And then some little leaves here. Right, to start with, then we'll go with the leaves. I've got some pin flare gel. Any 3D gel is fine. I'll keep mine in a syringe. Put that one down there. Just arrange these out before you stick them down, so you've got sort of an idea of an arrangement that you like. These little leaves are just die cut from some bit dies that I've got in my craft kit. Oh dear, made a bit of a hash of that. There we go. Try again. There, and this just finishes it off, just gives it that little bit of wow. Although she's a very pretty image on her in her own right, it just sort of fills the card out. And last job, just to stick that down. And just pop that there. So that's how you can fill up quite a large card with relatively small stamps. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching and happy crafting.